He told me his wife was a monster, some kind of emotional vampire who'd scream at him for leaving a dish in the sink, then cry to make him feel like the bad guy, said he needed a safe place, someone who'd listen. And I was dumb enough to think I was that person. I'm Kaylee, and I'm not here to say I'm sorry. Because honestly, I'm not. I'm just telling you how it went down. Like I'd spill it over coffee with my best friend. No filter. No sugarcoating. It started at a dive bar. One of those places with sticky floors and neon signs that flicker like they're on their last breath. I was there with a couple of girls from work, sipping something cheap and laughing too loud. Vance walked in with this tired look, like he'd been carrying a boulder uphill all day. He wasn't some chiseled model type, but he had this quiet intensity. Dark eyes that didn't miss much. He sat a few stools down, nursing a beer, and I caught him glancing my way. Not creepy, just curious. I smiled, because why not? I wasn't looking for anything serious. Just a little fun to break up the monotony of my life-shared apartment, endless bills, and a job that paid just enough to keep me annoyed. We got to talking, and it wasn't some grand romance spark. It was easy, like we'd known each other forever. He was funny in a dry way, cracking jokes about the jukebox playing the same 5 songs. By the end of the night, we exchanged numbers, and I didn't think much of it. Just a guy, just a moment. But then he texted me the next day, and it snowballed from there. Coffee meetups turned into late-night calls, and he started opening up about his life. His wife, Marissa, was the villain in every story. She'd pick fights over nothing, he said. Like him forgetting to take out the trash or not noticing her new haircut. She'd cry to guilt him, make him feel like he was failing her every day. I listened, nodded, felt bad for him. Who wouldn't? He painted her as this controlling, needy woman who'd suck the life out of anyone close to her. I didn't question it much at first. I mean, people vent, right? My last boyfriend was a jerk who'd leave me on red for days, so I got it. Relationships are messy, but Vance kept coming back to me, saying I was different, that I made him feel seen, and yeah, I ate it up. Who doesn't want to be the one who gets it? Who's not like the crazy wife at home? We started meeting up more, grabbing drinks, walking through the park, just talking. Nothing physical, not yet, but there was this pull, like we were circling something inevitable. My friends noticed I was distracted, always checking my phone. My roommate, Tara, called me out one night while we were splitting a pizza. Kaylee, you're acting like a teenager with a crush? What's up with this guy? I brushed it off. Said he was just a friend going through a rough patch. But Tara gave me this look, like she knew I was full of it. He's married. Kaylee, don't be that girl. I got defensive. Told her she didn't know him. Didn't know what he was dealing with. Marissa was the problem, not me. I wasn't stealing anyone. I was just there for him. Tara rolled her eyes and dropped it. But I could tell she was judging me. Whatever. She's always been too uptight, acting like she's got her life all figured out. Things with Vance got heavier. He'd show up at my place after fights with Marissa, looking like a kicked puppy. I'd let him crash on my couch, make him coffee in the morning. He'd talk about how trapped he felt, how she threatened to leave, but then beg him to stay, like some twisted game. I started to hate her, this woman I'd never met, because of how she was breaking him down. I'd lie awake at night, thinking about how unfair it was, how someone like Vance, smart, kind, trying his best, ended up stuck with her. I told myself I was just being a good friend, but deep down, I knew it was more. I wanted him to choose me, to see I was better than her. One night, he showed up at my door, eyes red, voice shaky. Said Marissa had thrown a glass at him during an argument about his work hours. He didn't know where else to go. I let him in, and we sat on my couch, him leaning into me, his head on my shoulder. That's when it happened, the line we hadn't crossed yet. A kiss, then more, and I didn't stop it, didn't want to. It felt right, like we were finally being honest with each other. After, he said he was done with her, that he'd file for divorce and start over with me. I believed him. Why wouldn't I? He was living on my couch half the time, telling me I was his lifeline. For a few weeks, it was like we were in this bubble. We'd cook dinner together, watch dumb shows, act like a real couple. I'd catch myself smiling at nothing, thinking about a future where it was just us. But then things started shifting. He'd get cagey about his phone, always angling it away when he texted. He'd dodge questions about the divorce, saying it was complicated or in progress. I'd push, and he'd shut down, saying I didn't understand how hard it was to leave someone like Marissa. I'd get mad, tell him he needed to man up, and he'd promise to handle it. But the promises felt thinner each time. My friends started pulling away. Tara barely talked to me anymore. just gave me these tight-lipped smiles when we passed in the apartment. My coworker, Alice, straight up told me I was being stupid, that married guys always say they'll leave but never do. I told her she was jealous, that she didn't get it because she'd never had someone look at her the way Vance looked at me, but her words stuck, like a splinter I couldn't dig out. I started checking his phone when he was in the shower, looking for proof he was serious about the divorce. I'd find texts to Marissa, nothing lovey-dovey, just logistics about bills or schedules. But it still made my stomach twist. Why was he still talking to her? Why wasn't he moving faster? Then came the day everything cracked open. Vance was at my place, scrolling on his phone, when he got a call and stepped outside to take it. I don't know why, but I followed him, peeking through the window. He was pacing, voice low, saying stuff like, "I'm trying, okay. It's not that simple." I felt this hot, ugly rage bubble up. Was he talking to her, stringing me along? When he came back inside, I confronted him, demanded to know what was going on. He looked panicked, said it was his lawyer, that the divorce was moving forward, but his eyes wouldn't meet mine, and I knew he was lying. I started digging. I'm not proud of it, but I wasn't about to be played. I found Marissa's social media not hard, since Vance had mentioned her full name once. Her profile was private, but I could see her picture, this smiling woman with perfect hair and a yoga teacher vibe. I hated her even more. But I also needed answers. I messaged a mutual friend of theirs, pretending to be an old classmate, and got her to spill. Turns out, Marissa wasn't some raging monster. She was in therapy, trying to save their marriage, crying to her counselor about how Vance was distant, how he'd shut her out. The friend said Marissa was blindsided when Vance filed for divorce, had no idea he was even unhappy until he served her papers. I felt like I'd been punched. All those stories about her throwing glasses, screaming, manipulating, none of it lined up. I confronted Vance that night, showed him the messages I'd gotten. He didn't even try to deny it, just sat there, head in his hands, saying he didn't mean for it to go this far, said he was unhappy with Marissa. Sure, but he'd exaggerated to make me feel sorry for him, to keep me hooked. I was screaming, calling him a liar, a coward, and he just took it, like he knew he deserved it. But then he said something that made my blood boil. You wanted to believe it. Kaylee, you wanted to be the savior. I kicked him out, told him to never come back. I was done, humiliated, but I wasn't about to let him see me cry. I spent the next few days in a fog, replaying every conversation. Every moment I thought we were real. Tara tried to talk to me, but I shut her down. She didn't get to say I told you so. Nobody did. I wasn't the one who lied, who played games with people's lives. That was all Vance. And Marissa? She could have him back, broken and all. I didn't care. But then the real fallout hit. A week later, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. It was Marissa's therapist. Of all people, she was professional but cold. Said she'd heard my name from Marissa and needed to clarify some things. Apparently, Vance had been telling Marissa I was just a friend, someone he was helping through a tough time. But the therapist had seen through his nonsense, gotten Marissa to dig deeper, and they'd found texts, emails, proof of everything. The therapist didn't accuse me outright, but her tone said enough. I was the other woman, the one who'd helped wreck a marriage. I hung up, shaking, but not because I felt guilty. I was furious. How dare she call me acting like I was the problem. I didn't owe Marissa anything. Vance was the one who lied, who used me just as much as he used her. But the story didn't stop there. Word got out, small towns talk, and somehow people knew. My coworkers started whispering, giving me side eye in the break room. Tara moved out, left a note saying she couldn't live with someone who'd stoop that low. Even my mom, who's never been the judging type, asked why I'd get mixed up with a married man. I told them all the same thing. I didn't know. He lied to me. Why was I the bad guy? Meanwhile, Vance moved on like nothing happened. I saw him a month later, out with some new girl, laughing like he didn't have a care in the world. I heard through the grapevine he'd gotten a promotion, was living in a new place, all shiny and happy. And Marissa, she was still in therapy, posting vague quotes about healing and strength. But I could tell she was falling apart. Good. She should have known what she had, should have been better to him. If she wasn't such a weak, needy mess, maybe he wouldn't have come to me in the first place. I'm not saying I'm proud of how it went down, but I'm not the villain here. Vance played me, played her, played everyone. If people want to judge me, fine. But they don't know what it's like to think you found something real, only to have it blow up in your face. I'm done caring what they think. I'm done with all of them, Vance. Marissa, Tara, the whole judgmental lot. I'm moving on, and I'm not looking back.